Alright, it's only me. I've just come on here. The guy's just been delivering this Thin Lizzy box set here, but Thin Lizzy 1976. This one's quad just came out on Friday there. Should have got it on Friday, but I'm no bothered because it actually did say that it probably wasn't going to arrive to Tuesday. So I've kind of got it 2 days late, but at the same time 2 days early, if you know what I mean. So I'm just going to do what I usually do with this and unbox it in a live video and have a look at what's in here and what we're going to be getting. Just a bit of background with my own personal Thin Lizzy. I mean, when I think of Thin Lizzy, to me I just think being 13 or 14 kind of. Thin Lizzy takes me way back to the 1980s. Kind of just reminds me of being a wee boy. Thin Lizzy, one of the first rock bands I ever got into. But also, like when you start listening to other things, like your older stuff kind of gets left by the wayside. So, especially with Thin Lizzy, because I mean, there was never any great reunion with Thin Lizzy. So I mean, they very much died back in the day, and they've had a couple of goes at doing the band since then. Kind of John Sykes singing with Scott Gorham and stuff. And then later on Scott Gorham and Ricky Warwick and stuff with the band that would go on and become Black Star Right. I mean, I wouldn't cross the road to see Ricky Warwick. I mean, I've got to be honest, I don't know what other folk see in him. I find him to be somebody that just does whatever he thinks is selling at the time. But I've no had started this video of a go at Ricky Warwick, but I'm just saying, if you haven't go at Philip Lynott in the band, then you haven't go at Thin Lizzy. So when I heard this was coming out, I swithered on it, but then I thought I have to get it because there's new mixes here. Or the Jailbreak album and Johnny the Fox, 1976. That came, when you think of the two albums that came out that year, Jailbreak, Johnny the Fox. This is when Thin Lizzy with Brian Robertson and Scott Gorham finally came into the reign. Kind of done the Nightlife album and the Fighting album, kind of a bit lightweight, a bit Steely Dan, a bit West Coast American at times. Whereas when they go to Jailbreak, they still kept a bit of that, but they managed to get kind of British rock balls in there. So I'm going to take out the cellophane and see what we've got. So I'm going to use this knife because I hate opening these things and damaging them. See, I mean, I save up my pocket money for these things, and I don't drink. So, can other people have their things that they keep their money for in a hobby at the weekend? My hobby's music, so whenever something like this, I mean, I've got all my albums and CDs are in, and I don't really need to be spending money on albums and CDs anymore, so it just means when box sets come out, I've got all the CDs. So, there's the back. This thing here just basically telling you what's on it. CD1 is the I think Jailbreak clocks in about 38 minutes. So the two versions of the album both fit on the one disc. The original mix, which would have been done by John Alcock, and the new stereo mix, and that's the same with CD2 for Johnny the Fox. And then CD3 is the Jailbreak outtakes, which to me looks pretty much similar to the Jailbreak Deluxe Edition that came out a few, came out about 10 years ago or something, 10-15 years ago. It was like a 2-discer. And the rest of it it doesn't look as if there's a BBC session on there. It's just identical to the Deluxe Edition Johnny the Fox as well. And CD5 is probably the most interesting ones. It's live in Cleveland, 11th of May 1976, where there isn't actually anything that rare on that concert bill except for a version of Romeo and the Lonely Girl and Little Darling at the end, although that has been out before. And then you've got two Blu-rays, sorry, I would have been spitting out my no, it's one Blu-ray, sorry, and it's the Atmos mix of the two albums and the new stereo mix. So, good sturdy box actually. That's, you always get good marks for that if you've got if you're a box setter. So let's have a look at this. This is the enclosure here for the discs. And here, much the same format actually as the Live and Dangerous version, where you've got this fold out thing happening here. And then the picture of the Overlord there for the front the Jailbreak album, because the Jailbreak album, again, this is an amalgamation of the Jailbreak and Johnny the Fox album covers. This was actually the Jailbreak cover, and what that was in there, you opened out the LP sleeve, and it was a picture of Thin Lizzy running away, kind of like a Jailbreak. But now they've put the Johnny the Fox album cover in there. So if we look through the book, see what we've got in here. But kind of, I don't think anybody would argue that the version of Thin Lizzy that recorded these albums was without doubt the most special lineup of the band there was, with Brian Robertson and Scott Gorham. Brian Robertson, of course, superb guitar player, but obviously had some big personality problems because he just couldn't get on with Phil Lynott, and he just kind of, a young guy at the time with a lot of alcohol problems and stuff. But I mean, if you hear the stories of him putting getting into fights and the glass going through his hand, and Gary Moore having to replace him for the American tour, so many things happened. Phil Lynott getting hepatitis in 1976 when they were doing the American tour with Queen. There's so many things. It's not just about the music, it's about so many different things that happen behind the scenes. I mean, this could have been, if it had all went right for them, Thin Lizzy could have went on 1977, 78 and went right over the top, along with bands like Judas Priest and Scorpions, and become a big act in America. And because they didn't, that's what led to the band kind of splitting up in 1983, because any major act will tell you, if you're no selling records in the American market, which is the biggest market for selling music in the world, then you can't make enough money to survive as a top act. And just with the amount of gear and crew and everything you would need, you really need to be playing in America. Whereas you be coming here, and if an American band comes to Britain and does like a 5-day tour, playing big arenas, kind of like the Hydro or whatever, or Birmingham NEC, in America you can go there and do 100 concerts like that in a row. That's why the big money's out there. That's why the world doesn't really care about the Oasis reunion, because nobody in America knows who they are. And in this country it's like, oh aye, Oasis. Couldn't they draw flies with a booth through a shit in America? Oasis. You kind of couldn't give the tickets away. But anyway, this looks pretty good. I'm actually looking forward to having a wee look at this book. But anyway, who knows what this will be like. I'm quite looking forward to the new mixes and hearing the Cleveland concert. But again, I don't know why they brought it out in 2024. Somebody's obviously needed some dosh, because if this had been me, I would have waited, 14 months and brought it out in 2026 for the 50th anniversary. No, the 48th anniversary. But really looking forward to this, Ken. Thin Lizzy. My cup of tea. The classic numbers. So I'll listen to this, and then I'm going to take the dug up Diddy of the night, probably about... I'll need to leave at 5:15, and I'll be back for about 7:15, because I think sunset is around about 10 to 7 tonight. So anyway, that's that. Just getting in here looking for a bit of Thin Lizzy. Oh, aye, my mate's first get, aye. Port Rush, Northern Ireland. Imagine seeing Thin Lizzy in their days in Port Rush in the 1970s. But anyway, I better get out of here. I've got stuff to do. Have a nice day. Keep listening to Thin Lizzy.